What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sim Park Observer. This is Jason, and today we are going to do another tutorial for Planet Coaster and show you guys how to create strobed triggered events on your tracked rides or even roller coasters. I had a recent subscriber post a question on my message board the other day, and I'm going to show you who that is real quick. Frankie C said, "Hi, I saw your tutorial. I still need help. How do I make a strobe light in Planet Coaster? Also, how do you have a scene light up in a dark ride and then the light go out? Thanks so much." Well, thank you, Frankie C, for posting that question. It's a really good one. And actually, the answer to both of these questions is got pretty much the same answer. And we're going to show you guys how to do that today. So as you can see, I've got this, this light set up on this little car track ride here. And we're going to wait for this one to come by here, and you'll see that when it hits the triggered event, it's going to actually make this light strobe. Now, this is not a strobe light in Planet Coaster. This one is simply, let me hit escape here so I can show you guys the information for this object. It is a colorable area light. It's the same one that you guys probably use to light up your scenery, but I have created this in a way where it actually creates a bit of a strobe effect for this particular ride. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I've done this and recreate this on a area a little bit further down on this ride, like right about here. So in order to do this, what we want to do is we want to actually find the light first. Now you can pick pretty much any light that has a triggered ride event box available for it. And for now, I'm just going to go ahead and select the same light. It's the colorable area light. You can change it to any color that you want. I'm going to keep it white so that it's very similar to an actual strobe. And I'm going to aim it a little bit towards the car like I did before on the other one. Now once I've got that in place, I'm going to go ahead and close this out so it's not a distraction. You want to select that light. You can see that this is an actual triggered ride event, and you can actually click this box here that says activate on trigger, and you want to do that because what that does is it unlocks the duration for that particular object. The play for is defaulted to 3 seconds, but you can change it as low as 0 or 0.1. And we're going to 0 is not going to work because that means it's not going to turn it on, but we are going to go to 0.1, and I'm going to hit return. And you can see that it actually locked that in there by adding the S on the end. That's the second. So for 0.1 seconds, anytime that something triggers that light, it's going to flash for 0.1 second. Now, you can make that any time if you want to. So if you put a triggered event on this particular part of the ride, anytime it hits that part, it's going to last for the duration that you set here. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we're going to open up the ride itself. And then on that ride, we're going to go to the triggered tab on the far right side. Now you can see I've already got 7 trigger points on this particular track, and I think I actually even have another one here. Yep, created one over here already specifically for this event. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that up a little bit closer, maybe not that close, but maybe like right about here. And under that triggered event, and just in case you guys don't know, if you want to add a new triggered event, and we're going to show you in a second, you just click the add trigger for that particular ride. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the add object to trigger, so that way we assign an object to that particular trigger that's in there. Click on the light, and now the colorable area light is assigned to trigger number 7. Now, the one thing that people tend to miss is this little drop down right here where it says show options. This is the time delay. This actually tells you how many seconds you want the delay to occur between the time that the car hits this triggered event before this is activated. It's at 0 seconds right now, which means it's going to happen really fast. So you see how quickly it actually flashed once it hit there. So now it's basically saying that every time that that car hits that spot, it's going to trigger this object for 0.1 seconds, which is the duration that we hit earlier. If you wanted this to happen a little bit later, like you didn't want that to flash until, like, say maybe it got to here, you can actually increase this, and we'll change this to like 2 seconds. So now every time that the car comes by to this particular spot, it's going to wait 2 seconds and then it will flash. So hopefully you guys get the idea of how that works. We're going to set this back down to 0, and we are going to add more we're going to add more triggers. Now, basically, by adding more triggers to this particular area and assigning these triggers to that light, moving them all close together is going to make those flash in succession the closer that we put them together. So I'm going to move this a little bit closer to number 7, and I'm going to make sure that it is assigned to that light. We're going to add another trigger, move it close together. We are going to assign it to that light. We might have to actually spread these a little bit further apart. Let's try this. Right about there. I'm going to add another one. We are going to assign it to that light. Add another one. Assign it to this light. And let's just do one more for fun. Oop, wrong button. Got to scroll down here. Add, there we go. Okay, so now we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which basically means that every time that the car hits these particular objects, it's going to make this go off for 0.1 seconds each time. And obviously, the closer that we move these a little bit together, the sooner they're going to be triggered, which means that it is going to strobe a little bit faster. So if you have a really fast roller coaster and you want these things to be triggered like a strobe, you might have to pace them a little bit further apart, because you have to keep in mind these cars are going very, very slow. So you want to space them really close together to get that really good flash, quick flash going in there to make it look like a strobe. I'd say that's pretty good right now. It's a little bit off on one or two of them, but for the most part, it gives you guys the idea of how the triggered ride events work to make a strobe light just from a simple, colorable area light. Similarly, if you want to actually, wow, that sounds weird. Similarly, if you want to actually make a light go on and then off for a longer duration, and what I'm going to do is we'll just go ahead and go back to edit our triggers. We are going to remove everything except for number 7. We only need 1 to demonstrate this. We're going to want to make sure that every time that the car hits that, this goes on for a certain amount of time and lasts for a certain amount of time. So it's going to be triggered at the moment it touches that, but we're going to change this now from 0.1 seconds, and we'll make it go to, say, like 3 seconds. So 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, off. So there it is, guys. That shows you how to make a strobe light using multiple triggered events and only one light, as well as how to make a light go on, last for a certain amount of time, and then go off. Hope you guys have found this tutorial helpful, and Frankie C, thank you very, very much for posting that question and giving me the idea to post this video. I hope this helps you greatly, and hope to see some really great rides and triggered ride events happen for your parks and for your rides, guys. If you did like it, hit the like button down below. Also, if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you guys next time. Until then, keep it loopy.